Welcome to our video on the timeless fable, The Monkey and the Crocodile, a story of friendship, betrayal, and the triumph of cleverness. In this video, we explore how loyalty can be challenged by greed and deceit, and how quick wit can turn the tables in dangerous situations. Once upon a time, in a lush jungle filled with vibrant life, a resourceful monkey lived high in a fruit-laden tree. Nearby, a crocodile roamed the winding river, and an unlikely friendship blossomed between the two. Their bond was built on shared moments and mutual trust, until the crocodile's wife, consumed by envy and greed, set her sights on the monkey's heart, believing it held a rare sweetness. Caught between his loyalty to his friend and his wife's insatiable demands, the crocodile faced an impossible dilemma. Swayed by pressure and the promise of satisfying his wife's desires, he hatched a dangerous plan. Inviting the unsuspecting monkey to journey across the river, he concealed his true intentions beneath a mask of friendship. As the monkey climbed onto his back, the crocodile's deceit was unveiled in a shocking moment of betrayal. With danger looming and his life at stake, the clever monkey relied on his wit and resourcefulness to escape the clutches of betrayal, proving that intelligence can triumph over treachery. This captivating tale not only entertains, but also reminds us to be cautious about whom we trust. It underscores the value of quick thinking and the importance of discerning true friendship from hidden agendas. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the lessons of this ancient fable. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that inspire and teach us valuable life lessons. What would you do if your best friend betrayed you? Imagine trusting someone with your life, only to find out they had a secret plan to harm you. This is the story of a clever monkey and a cunning crocodile, a tale of friendship, deception, and survival. It's an age-old fable that teaches us an important lesson. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. In this video, we'll uncover the fascinating story of how a simple act of kindness turned into a dangerous trap, and how intelligence became the key to survival. This tale isn't just about animals. It reflects real-life situations where trust is broken, and quick thinking is the only way out. Stay with us as we dive into The Monkey and the Crocodile, a story filled with suspense, wisdom, and an unforgettable moral. Deep in the heart of a lush green jungle, where the trees stretched high into the sky and the river glistened under the golden rays of the sun, lived a clever monkey. His home was a grand old tree, its thick branches heavy with the sweetest, juiciest fruits. From his perch high above the ground, he could see the vast jungle spread out before him, filled with the songs of birds, the rustling of leaves, and the distant calls of wild animals. The river below was calm yet mysterious, its waters hiding secrets beneath the surface. This river was home to a crocodile, a creature of power and stealth. With his rough, scaly skin and piercing eyes, he glided through the water silently, almost invisible to those who did not know where to look. The jungle creatures knew to be wary of the river, for beneath its peaceful surface lurked dangers unknown. But the crocodile was not just any predator, he was different. Unlike the others of his kind, he was often found resting along the riverbank, staring up at the monkey's tree, lost in thought. The monkey, full of energy and wit, spent his days leaping from branch to branch, enjoying the rich bounty of his home. His tree provided everything he needed: shade, shelter, and an endless supply of delicious fruits. He was fast, agile, and clever, always aware of his surroundings. He had seen the crocodile many times, but never once had he feared him. After all, the crocodile could not climb trees, and the monkey felt safe high above the water. But the river held many secrets, and the crocodile's quiet presence was not as harmless as it seemed. The jungle, though beautiful, was also a place of survival, where even the closest friendships could hide the darkest intentions. And soon, the monkey would learn that danger could come from the most unexpected places. One bright morning, as the monkey sat high on his tree, enjoying a ripe, golden fruit, he noticed the crocodile resting on the riverbank below. The crocodile lay still, his massive body half submerged in the water, his eyes barely open. He looked tired, almost defeated, as if something weighed heavily on his mind. The monkey, full of curiosity, called down to him. "You look exhausted, my friend. Are you hungry?" the monkey asked, twirling a fruit in his nimble fingers. The crocodile slowly lifted his head, his eyes meeting the monkey's. He hadn't eaten much that day. Hunting was never easy, and the warm sun had drained his energy. "I am always hungry," the crocodile admitted with a deep sigh. His voice was rough, like the stones at the bottom of the river. The monkey, always generous and kind, plucked another fruit from the tree and tossed it down. It landed just inches from the crocodile's snout. He hesitated for a moment, unsure. He had never tasted anything other than fish and meat. But hunger pushed him forward. He snapped the fruit into his jaws and bit down. To his surprise, it was sweet, unlike anything he had ever tasted before. A strange warmth spread through him. The monkey laughed as he watched the crocodile's expression change. "Delicious, isn't it?" he said proudly. The crocodile nodded, swallowing the fruit whole. "Very," he admitted. "I never knew something like this could taste so good." And so, from that day forward, an unlikely friendship began. Each morning, the crocodile would swim up to the tree, and the monkey would toss down the ripest, juiciest fruits. They would talk for hours about the jungle, the river, the world beyond. The crocodile spoke of the deep waters, the hidden caves beneath the river, and the creatures that lurked in the shadows. The monkey, in turn, spoke of the sky, the wind, and the freedom of the trees. Days turned into weeks, and the two became inseparable. The monkey, trusting and cheerful, saw the crocodile as a friend, someone to share his joy with. And the crocodile, for the first time in his life, felt something new: companionship, a bond that went beyond hunger or survival. But deep beneath the surface of the river, where the waters turned cold and dark, someone else had begun to take notice of their friendship. The crocodile's wife had been watching, and what she saw filled her with something dangerous: jealousy. And with that jealousy came a hunger far greater than her husband had ever known. Deep beneath the surface of the river, where the water turned darker and colder, the crocodile's wife lay waiting. She had seen the changes in her husband, the way he left every morning with eagerness, how he no longer seemed interested in hunting as he once did. He returned each day with stories, speaking not of the river's depths or the hunt, but of a monkey, his friend. At first, she listened with mild curiosity, but as the days passed, something inside her began to twist. A monkey? Her husband, a mighty crocodile, spending his days with a weak, fruit-eating creature? It made no sense. But what disturbed her even more was the way he spoke of the monkey, the laughter in his voice, the excitement. He spoke of the monkey's cleverness, his kindness, his delicious fruits. He no longer complained about hunger, no longer seemed concerned about the hunt. One evening, as the crocodile returned home, his wife watched him closely. His eyes were different, filled with a contentment she didn't understand. "You seem happy," she said, her voice smooth yet laced with something sharp. The crocodile sighed, stretching out along the riverbed. "I am. The monkey has been sharing his fruits with me every day. They are sweeter than anything I've ever tasted. He is kind, and we talk about many things." The wife's eyes narrowed. "Fruits?" she repeated, a slow smile creeping across her face. "That monkey must eat a lot of them." The crocodile nodded. "He lives in a tree full of them. He eats them all the time." She leaned closer, her voice turning low and thoughtful. "If he eats so many sweet fruits, don't you wonder what his heart must taste like?" The crocodile frowned. "His heart?" "Yes," she whispered, her eyes gleaming. "If the fruit he eats is so sweet, imagine how sweet his flesh must be. His heart must be the sweetest thing in the jungle." The crocodile recoiled slightly. "He is my friend," he said firmly. "Why would I harm him?" His wife let out a sharp laugh. "Friend?" she scoffed. "You are a crocodile. He is just a silly monkey. Do you really think he sees you as an equal? Do you think he cares for you the way you care for him?" The crocodile hesitated, doubt creeping into his mind. He had never thought about it that way. Had the monkey simply been using him? Was he nothing more than a source of entertainment, a curiosity? His wife saw the hesitation in his eyes and pressed on. "Besides," she said, her voice turning softer, more persuasive, "I have been feeling weak lately. My body aches, and I am always tired. I need something special to regain my strength, something rare, something sweet." She let the words linger, watching as her husband's expression darkened. "You love me, don't you?" she whispered. "You want me to be strong and healthy, don't you?" The crocodile's heart twisted. He did love his wife. He had built a life with her in the depths of the river. Could he really deny her what she asked? Still, the thought of betraying his friend sent a deep unease through him. He lay awake that night, staring at the murky water, torn between loyalty and love, between friendship and duty. By morning, his wife had made the decision for him. "Bring me the monkey's heart," she said coldly, "or don't return at all." The river seemed darker that day as the crocodile slowly swam toward the monkey's tree, his mind filled with thoughts he had never dared entertain before. The weight of his wife's demand pressed heavily on him, and for the first time since their friendship began, the crocodile felt like a predator again. The morning sun shimmered over the river, casting golden ripples on the surface as the crocodile approached the monkey's tree. But today, something was different. His usual eagerness had been replaced by a heavy weight in his chest. His wife's words echoed in his mind. "Bring me the monkey's heart, or don't return at all." As he reached the riverbank, he forced a smile. The monkey, cheerful as ever, swung down from the branches and greeted him. "Good morning, my friend. You're right on time," the monkey said, plucking a ripe fruit and tossing it down. "I have the sweetest ones today." The crocodile caught the fruit in his jaws, but he hardly tasted it. His heart pounded. He had to act normal. He couldn't let the monkey suspect a thing. "My friend," the crocodile said slowly, keeping his voice steady, "I have been thinking. We have known each other for so long, and yet I have never invited you to my home. Would you like to come and see where I live?" The monkey's eyes widened with excitement. "Your home? Beneath the river?" The crocodile nodded. "Yes, the water is cool and calm, and there are many wonders below the surface. I would love to show you my world." The monkey hesitated for a moment. He had never left the safety of his tree, never ventured into the depths of the river. But the idea was tempting. The crocodile had been nothing but kind to him, sharing stories of his world beneath the water. If he could trust anyone to take him safely across, it was his friend. "That sounds amazing," the monkey finally said. "But how will I get there? I can't swim like you." The crocodile chuckled, keeping up the act. "Don't worry, my friend. You can ride on my back. I will take you there safely." The monkey grinned, excited by the adventure. He leaped onto the crocodile's broad back, gripping his rough scales as they pushed off into the water. The river was cool beneath them, the gentle waves lapping against the monkey's fur. For a while, everything seemed fine. The crocodile glided smoothly through the water, taking his friend farther from the shore. The monkey marveled at the vastness of the river, staring into the depths below. He had never felt so free, so full of wonder. But as they reached the deeper part of the river, the crocodile's heart began to race. The time had come. His wife's demand rang in his ears. Suddenly, his voice dropped, turning cold. "Monkey," he said, his words slow and deliberate. "I must tell you something." The monkey, still gazing at the water, barely noticed the change in his tone. "Yes? What is it, my friend?" The crocodile took a deep breath. There was no turning back now. "I am taking you to my home," he admitted, "but not as my guest. My wife. She wants your heart." The words cut through the air like a blade. The monkey's grip tightened on the crocodile's back. His heart pounded in his chest as the weight of the betrayal crashed over him. You're joking, right?" the monkey said, forcing a nervous laugh. "This is just another one of your stories." But the crocodile said nothing. His silence was louder than any words. Panic surged through the monkey. He had trusted the crocodile. He had called him a friend, and now that trust had led him straight into danger. The river stretched endlessly around them, deep and unforgiving. There was no tree to climb, no branch to swing from. The monkey knew one thing: if he didn't think fast, he would not survive. His sharp mind raced. He had no strength against the crocodile, no way to escape the vast water. But he had something else: his wit. And at that moment, it was the only thing that could save him. Taking a deep breath, he steadied his voice and spoke, his tone calm despite the terror clawing at his chest. "Oh, my dear friend," he said, forcing a smile. "Why didn't you tell me this earlier?" The crocodile blinked. "What do you mean?" The monkey let out a small, amused chuckle. "If you needed my heart, you should have told me before we left the tree. I don't carry my heart with me all the time. I keep it safely hidden in my tree, where no one can take it." The crocodile stopped swimming. "What?" "It's true," the monkey continued confidently. "A heart is a very precious thing, you know. I always keep mine stored away. If your wife wants it, I will gladly give it to her. But we must go back to my tree so I can retrieve it." The crocodile hesitated. His wife had been clear: she wanted the monkey's heart. But if the monkey did not have it with him, what could he do? He couldn't return home empty-handed. Finally, he grunted. "Very well, we will go back to your tree." As he turned around and swam back toward the shore, the monkey remained still, hiding the fear in his eyes. The moment they reached the tree, he knew he would have only one chance to escape. His life depended on it. And so, the crocodile swam on, unaware that the friend he had betrayed had just outsmarted him. The crocodile swam steadily back toward the shore, cutting through the water with slow, deliberate strokes. The river, once calm and inviting, now felt like a cage. The monkey sat stiffly on his back, forcing himself to remain still, to keep up the illusion. Every ripple in the water, every splash against the crocodile's scaly skin felt like a ticking clock counting down the moments until he could break free. His mind raced. He had fooled the crocodile for now, but he wasn't safe yet. If he made one wrong move, if he gave even the slightest hint of deception, the crocodile might turn on him before they reached land. "Stay calm," he told himself. "Just a little longer." The crocodile, deep in thought, spoke after a long silence. "I had no idea hearts could be removed and kept somewhere else," he murmured. "How strange." The monkey forced a casual laugh. "Of course, you didn't know. We monkeys are very careful with our hearts. We never carry them around carelessly." The crocodile nodded slowly. His mind was clouded with thoughts of his wife, of her demands, of her growing impatience. He imagined her waiting in the dark waters, expecting him to return with what she desired most. He had to bring her the monkey's heart. There was no other choice. As they neared the riverbank, the monkey felt his pulse quicken. His tree, his home, his safe haven was just within reach. The branches swayed slightly in the warm breeze, beckoning him forward. He could almost feel the rough bark beneath his fingers, the solid ground beneath his feet. But he wasn't safe yet. The crocodile slowed as he reached the shore, his powerful tail sending ripples through the water. "Hurry, my friend," he said, his voice still thick with deception. "Retrieve your heart. My wife will be waiting." The monkey nodded eagerly. Of course, just wait here. I'll climb up and bring it right down." The crocodile watched as the monkey leaped from his back and landed lightly on the soft earth. For a brief moment, the monkey hesitated, glancing back at the crocodile, as if considering his next move. Then, in an instant, he sprang into action. With a burst of speed, he scrambled up the tree, his nimble hands gripping the rough bark as he climbed higher and higher. The crocodile's eyes widened in confusion. "Where are you going?" he called out. "Aren't you going to get your heart?" From the highest branch, the monkey turned and looked down, his expression no longer friendly, no longer trusting. Instead, his sharp eyes gleamed with triumph. "Oh, my dear crocodile," he called, laughter bubbling in his voice. "You fool! Do you really think anyone can remove their heart and keep it somewhere else?" The crocodile's stomach sank. The truth crashed over him like a tidal wave. He had been tricked. The monkey grinned, his tail flicking behind him. "You betrayed me, my so-called friend? And yet, you thought I would still give you my heart? How foolish! You have a big body, but a very small brain." The crocodile growled, his massive jaws snapping shut in frustration. "Come down here at once," he demanded. The monkey only laughed harder. "Come down? Into the jaws of a traitor? I think not." He plucked a fruit from the tree and tossed it down, watching as it splashed into the water. "Here, take this instead. It's the sweetest thing you'll ever get from me." The crocodile's rage boiled inside him, but he knew there was nothing he could do. He had been outwitted. He had lost. With one last glance, the monkey turned and disappeared into the branches, safe among the leaves of his home. He had learned a valuable lesson that day. Trust must be given wisely, and those who betray it will always end up alone. And as the crocodile sank back into the river, defeated, he knew he had lost more than just a meal. He had lost a friend forever. The crocodile lingered in the shallow waters near the riverbank, staring up at the monkey's tree. His powerful tail moved slowly beneath the surface, creating gentle ripples that faded as quickly as they appeared. But inside him, a storm raged. He had been tricked, deceived, humiliated, and yet, he could not blame anyone but himself. High above, the monkey sat safely on a sturdy branch, watching the crocodile below. His heart still pounded from the close escape, but his face held no fear, only disappointment. He had trusted the crocodile. He had shared his fruits, his laughter, his time. He had called him a friend. But in the end, the crocodile had chosen greed over friendship. For a long time, neither of them spoke. The air between them was thick with unspoken words, with regret, with finality. It was the silence of a friendship broken beyond repair. At last, the crocodile let out a deep sigh, the sound heavy with something that almost resembled sorrow. "You tricked me," he said, his voice quieter than before. "You made a fool of me." The monkey leaned forward slightly, his sharp eyes locked onto the crocodile's. "And what were you trying to do to me?" he shot back. "You wanted to steal my heart? You betrayed my trust? And for what? Because someone else told you to? Because you were too blind to see the difference between a friend and a meal?" The crocodile flinched at the words. He had no defense. Everything the monkey said was true. He had let his wife's greed control him. He had allowed hunger and blind loyalty to cloud his judgment. And in doing so, he had lost the only true friend he had ever known. The monkey shook his head, his voice softer now, but no less firm. "Friendship is not something you throw away for your own gain," he said. "It is built on trust, on kindness, on honesty. Once you break it, it's gone forever." The crocodile lowered his gaze. The monkey's words cut deeper than any sharp teeth ever could. He had thought he was the mighty one, the powerful one, the predator in control. But now, as he floated alone in the water, he realized the truth. He had lost. Not just a clever trick, not just a meal, but something far more valuable. The monkey sighed and leaned back against the tree trunk, gazing at the bright blue sky. "I have learned something today too," he admitted. "Not all smiles are friendly, not all promises are true, And sometimes danger comes disguised as friendship. The crocodile said nothing. He knew there was nothing he could say to undo what had been done. The monkey would never trust him again. He had not only lost a friend, he had lost the chance to ever be more than what he was. A creature of the river, feared and alone. Slowly, the crocodile turned, the weight of his actions heavy in his heart. Without another word, he sank beneath the water, disappearing into the depths where shadows swallowed him whole. The monkey watched the ripples fade, his sharp mind already moving forward. He had survived. He had outwitted danger. And now, he would be wiser. As he climbed higher into his tree, he made a silent promise to himself. He would never again trust blindly, but he would also never stop being clever, never stop thinking, never stop using his mind as his greatest weapon. For in the vast, unpredictable jungle, strength was not measured in size or power. It was measured in wisdom. And the monkey, no matter what, would always stay one step ahead. The river had returned to its usual calm, its surface smooth and unbroken, as if nothing had ever happened. The jungle whispered in the soft rustling of the leaves, the distant calls of birds echoing through the trees. But high above, perched safely in the strong branches of his tree, the monkey sat deep in thought. His clever escape had saved his life, but the events of the day had left him with more than just relief. They had left him with a lesson he would never forget. He had once believed that friendship was simple, that kindness was always met with kindness, that trust, once given, would never be broken. But today had proven otherwise. He had shared his fruits, his laughter, his time, never questioning the crocodile's intentions. And yet, the moment greed and temptation had entered the crocodile's heart, all of that had meant nothing. The monkey had nearly lost his life because he had trusted too easily. A gust of wind rustled the leaves around him, and he gazed down at the river where the crocodile had disappeared. Would he ever return? Would he try to trick him again? Perhaps. But the monkey knew one thing for certain: he would never be fooled twice. The jungle was full of dangers, but not all of them wore sharp teeth or lurked in the shadows. Some came with friendly smiles, some spoke kind words, some called themselves friends. But true friendship was not just about words, it was about actions. And the crocodile had shown, through his betrayal, that he was never a true friend at all. But the lesson was not just about trust, it was about wisdom. The monkey had not survived because he was stronger than the crocodile. He had survived because he was clever, because he had stayed calm in the face of danger, because he had used his mind instead of his fear. And so, the lesson of the story was clear. Strength is not always about size or power. True strength lies in intelligence, in quick thinking, in knowing when to trust and when to doubt. The monkey had lost a friend that day, but he had gained something far more valuable: wisdom. Far below, the river stretched endlessly, its currents moving ever forward. Somewhere beneath its depths, the crocodile swam alone, his own lesson weighing heavily on him. He had learned that greed could destroy even the strongest bonds, that betrayal could not be undone, and that sometimes, in trying to gain everything, one could end up with nothing at all. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the monkey stretched his arms and leaned against the sturdy trunk of his tree. He was safe, he was alive, and he was wiser than before. And in the vast, wild jungle, that wisdom was worth more than anything. The jungle was bathed in golden light as the sun slowly dipped below the horizon. The leaves swayed gently in the evening breeze, whispering secrets of the day's events. The monkey sat high in his tree, his tail curled around a branch, watching the river shimmer under the fading light. He had won. He had escaped. He had outwitted the crocodile. But as he gazed at the water, he knew this was not just a story of escape. It was a lesson, one that would stay with him forever. The crocodile had seemed like a friend, his words full of warmth, his actions full of kindness. But beneath that friendly exterior had lurked betrayal, driven by greed and blind loyalty to someone else's desires. In the end, the crocodile had not only lost his chance at a meal, he had lost something far greater. Trust, once broken, could never be repaired. The monkey had learned that not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Some people, just like the crocodile, hide their true intentions beneath kind words and friendly gestures. But he had also learned something even more important: intelligence, quick thinking, and the ability to stay calm in the face of danger were the greatest tools of survival. And that, dear viewers, is the true lesson of this story. Strength isn't always about sharp teeth or powerful muscles. Sometimes, the greatest strength of all is wisdom. The ability to see through deception, to think fast, to adapt and survive. That is what saved the monkey, and that is what can save us all in difficult situations. So, what do you think? Have you ever faced a situation where you had to use your intelligence to escape a tricky problem? Have you ever met someone who seemed like a friend but turned out to have other intentions? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story and learned something valuable, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories filled with wisdom and life lessons. And of course, hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay smart, stay aware, and always trust your instincts. Until next time, take care and keep learning.